We'll start with the Chiefs beating the Ravens 17-10. Gary, you had called this since we did our predictions in the preseason. Back-to-back bowls for Baby Go.
Yeah.
So, what are
Sure.
your thoughts to see him go to his sixth straight AFC Championship game?
Man, oh man, this one was. I hate to say I said it, but I kind of feel like I got to. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, Instagram people. They're really disrespectful to the Niners. I ain't trying to start off on a negative note already dissing Niners. So I actually was gonna give a lot of love today because I thought we were gonna walk into a funeral, Shaun. Sean was already second half like, oh, shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm like, that was walking to a funeral, so we're gonna give the Niners their flowers when that time comes. But I gotta say it. This is pretty much the bowl. You just watch the bowl right here. If you watch this game right here at 12 o'clock, this was going to be the bowl for me. I've been saying it. Whoever wins AFC is going to win the Super Bowl. And that's what the Chiefs proved. Chiefs are one of the team of the century. Kev, I know they're going to hate me for saying this, but oh well. It's like LeBron running the East back in the day for 10 years. That's what Mahomes is doing. He's running the AFC. He's punched his ticket every time, wherever it's at. You want him on the road, you want him at home. Wherever you want, they're going to come up clutch, and they came up clutch in this game. Simple as that. People might point to, what it was when you. This is the demoralizing factor with the Chiefs that really came out all postseason long. When they faced the Miami, when they faced the Bills, and now facing the Ravens, which is three big dogs to get to this point, and the great QBs on every which level they played, realistically, who had MVP type numbers and have in the past. So they scored first. Simple as that. They were really ones that hit first. And when you're on the road and you hit first in pretty much every game, and puts the home team right here in this particular spot, the Ravens, at a disadvantage. And they're playing from behind, and it was not looking good for them pretty much the whole first half. And you let Travis Kelsey, and everyone was probably like, "Oh, how you let Travis Kelsey get off and have a good season?" It's one of those things, man. Just like Gronk back in the day. It's just like the so it's crazy how the best like quarterbacks have their best weapons are their tight ends, and it's like so mirroring each other. Where like when you need him most, he's gonna show up, and he showed up when they needed him most. And Andy Reid just, the first half basically just on time and on target, scoring 14 points pretty much in the first half, and really putting up, 17 points in the first half, really starting off the game good. And that already put the Ravens, who, I've been liking all year. Ravens have been, they're in my division. I'm 10 supposed to hate the Ravens in my heart. But like I told you guys in the preseason, I was hoping Lamar Jackson was out of our conference, out of my division, excuse me, because that man is scary. And he showed up in the second half a little bit, tried to make a comeback, but it was just a little bit too late. And you can face, if he would have won this game, he would have got a lot of the glory. So today he deserves the blame. But they had a lot of miscues. You could point to so many plays in this game, the miscues throughout the game. I know I'm gonna let Vaughn go to that because he's always got really good at going through each part of the game. But I just wanted to say, man, Patrick Mahomes is coming. It's crazy to say he's been to already 4 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl appearances now, and he's gonna have a chance for his third ring. So that's gonna be pretty crazy in his young career. And yeah, it's tough to say these great quarterbacks in AFC or so many. We can go down the line with the Bengals and Joe Burrow who got injured, who didn't even get a chance this year, and all so forth. That they might not get an opportunity to ever get a ring because this man is walking on their side on that side of the field, and shit, he might stop the Niners again twice to get a ring. So we're gonna have to see, man. I just wanted to give more the Chiefs more love, and you can look at it as the Ravens did bad here and there, and they fumbled the bag being the number one seed, and all things of that nature. But in realistic expectations, they were in the last year. They were in the divisional round. They took a one step forward. Now they're in the AFC. Like Lamar Jackson said, I know the expectations was Super Bowl, but my eyes, they had a great season still. And next year they have a chance to bang at the bowl. They're not really like the Bills, who have been really knocking on the AFC Championship door multiple times now. So at the end of the day, you got to slay the king, and no one slayed Patrick Mahomes. So it's gonna be tough.
So, Toddy, you went with the Ravens, didn't you? Did you go Chiefs?
Went Chiefs.
Chiefs. So you also went Chiefs. So let's swing into you next. What were your thoughts? Because you knew coming in the Chiefs were going to get it done. So what were your initial thoughts coming from this game?
2-0 on the weekend, leading the playoff poll. So looks like I'm going to win. When it matters most, when the playoffs come, when the game slows down, the boy's gonna step up? Just going to the game, the Ravens end up getting the ball first. I think the Chiefs deferred. They end up stopping them on the first drive, and that kind of like took the. I felt like, took the energy out of M&T Bank Stadium, and then Mahomes kind of just bing bang boom when on their first drive they drive down the field and score. So that was kind of like, okay, like this is not good. And then Lamar responds with his insane run around, avoid sack, 40-yard bomb to Zay Flowers. And I'm like, oh shit! Like this game is gonna be. This is going to be probably the game of the day. This is going to be one of those duels. I'm thinking that it's going to be, Mahomes, Josh Allen in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I think it was 2021. But it was more of a defensive battle. After that, after both of those drives, both defenses kind of start to settle in. The Chiefs aren't really able to get Pacheco involved in the ground game a lot because that Ravens defensive front is the best in the league probably. So I don't even think better teams in the run game in the NFL nobody could really run on the Ravens this whole year. And I feel like that's one of the Ravens' strong suits on defense, and that gives them the edge on the back end. I thought the Chiefs also won the turnover battle. Obviously, the Zay Flowers at the 1 yard line when he's trying to score. People are going to also complain about him in the taunting call. But at the end of the day, it's football. I don't know if that should be, a flag in that situation. But I get it at the same time because, he kind of was standing over him and like dancing over him, doing a whole bunch of extra shit at the end of it. So get the taunting penalty. So instead of being like at like the 10-yard line, they're at like the 25 or something like that. But they end up still getting within striking distance, and Zay Flowers ends up fumbling. Lamar has a really bad pick in the end zone to Isaiah Likely. I think there was a stat about Mahomes not having an interception in the last 7 playoff games that he's played in. So it's basically if you turn the ball over against Mahomes in the playoffs, you're probably going to lose. Just going back to the Bills game last week, after I bet on the Bills to win -2.5, and they end up losing at home, I'm just like, damn, like how is Mahomes going to lose? Because I feel like that was the team that was supposed to beat them. And I get the Ravens were having the better year, this, that, and the third. But I'm like, if we're looking at it from a standpoint of who is the best player in the league, I think most of us will agree that it's Patrick Mahomes. So you could just go
all of us
when the playoffs started from the wild card weekend, we all look at everybody in the playoffs currently. We're like, who is the best player in the playoffs right now? I guarantee you all 4 of us would have been like, it's probably Patrick Mahomes.
Because don't speak for me.
Yeah. Kevin would have said Jalen Hurts because
man, like I said, don't speak for the 4 of us, dog. Who I'm rocking with.
Mahomes is the best player on the planet. Ain't no questions asked. Come on, no bullshit around, kid.
It just kind of comes down to like you're looking at Mahomes' like all-time stats. He has the same amount of playoff wins as John Elway and Peyton Manning. I'm going to say that again. Patrick Mahomes at the age of 28 has the same amount of playoff wins as John Elway, Peyton Manning. 2 of those guys are considered one of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game, and he's already done it at the age of 28. So it's kind of like, how are you going to bet against this guy? Now, him being able to go on the road is adding another element to his legacy. He's never been on the road before, but he's been to 6 AFC championships back to back. And he proved it last week that he's able to go on the road in the cold. Doesn't matter. Okay, can you do it again against the best overall team probably in the NFL in the Ravens? And he marches into M&T Bank Stadium. You got freaking Ray Lewis out there coming out, doing his dance. You got Terrell Suggs coming out there. Like, these are Hall of Fame players.
Talking Odell.
Odell, this, that, and the third. And he walks in there completely unfazed and gets the job done. I thought their offense got a little bit stagnant. Like, the Ravens were able to generate stops in this game. It's just that the offense got a little too pass happy and didn't really stick with the run game. And I felt that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing guys like Gus Edwards get pretty good chunk plays early on in the game, and him not really be able to see that many touches throughout the game was kind of mind-boggling. And you're kind of wondering, why is Lamar Jackson dropping back this amount of times and not really getting him involved in the run game? Because we did see Lamar, have a couple of good chunk plays with his legs. And you would have liked to see that implemented more in the offensive scheme for the Ravens, and that maybe would have, created a different outcome. But Most Raven fans are going to look at it as, oh, the refs sold us. We didn't get called this way. I'm like, how are you not getting calls at home? Like, what sense does that make? And they're going to also go back to the Zay Flowers touchback play that happened, which would have tied the game, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. The Chiefs don't turn the ball over. Travis Kelce looks like the Travis Kelce of old. I guess he just waited
This
all
defense
this time.
is for real.
I guess he just waited all this time to kind of show up in the playoffs. And, I mean, he showed up. Rashee Rice showed up in a big way. The defense was, like I said, creating turnovers. You're seeing Chris Jones. They're getting off the field on third down, like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. You're seeing that the Chiefs defense was able to generate stops time in and time again. And the Ravens just weren't able to put up points at a consistent basis. So, yeah, man, this Chiefs team, they were able to win a playoff game against the Baltimore Ravens, who before going into this game, everybody pretty much had as the best team in the league. They were able to go in and hold that Ravens team to 10 points. Team that just put up 34 points the previous week. So, yeah, this is a different type of Chiefs team that we're normally accustomed to seeing because usually they're a high-powered offense, usually used to scoring. But we kind of said that about the Chiefs team last year, and they were fucked around and got in the Super Bowl and beat the Eagles. So this Chiefs team is a little different as well, and I don't think they're as high-powered as they have been in the past, but they're able to just get the job done because they got the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, man. To see Patrick Mahomes go and do it again, Garry and Toddy really hammered in on that. So I'm going to really try to focus more on the Ravens aspect. So I'm going to give you a fun fact. For 19 weeks, I'm going to give you the Ravens rushes by running back. Week 1, 24. Week 2, 21. Week 3, 22. Week 4, 21. 19, 24, 18, 23, 27, 15, 21, 22, 15, 30, 19, 25, 17, 31. How many times did the running back run the ball in the AFC Championship game? 6 times. Toddy mentioned it. This team got one-dimensional. It was a 3rd and 1 opportunity, and Lamar's back there like he's patting the ball 4 or 5 times. Like, this is game on the line. Run the ball.
He's gonna. I thought you got the window. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, number 1 seed. A defense won the Triple Crown first year under new coach Todd Monken. You were expecting such a show out of Lamar Jackson. We knew coming in that they really didn't have the receiving weapons. And if you take out those 2 bombs from Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson's passing game looks very subpar. He wasn't really able to get the ball running on the ground. He only ran 8 times for 54 yards with a long of 21. But Lamar Jackson looked nervous back there. They had it for a while, but like maybe Garry mentioned it, when you come on the road and get the ball and score, the whole stadium was like, oh, shit. Is it happening to us this time? We've seen it in Buffalo. We've seen it in Cincinnati. Is it our turn? Is it our turn for Lamar to beat us? Or not Lamar, Patrick to beat us? And it was. Isaiah Pacheco, man, 24 carries for 68 yards. And like Garry mentioned, Travis Kelce showed up. The last couple of weeks, he's kind of been undershowing, and Rashee Rice has really been that number 1 guy. And a couple of weeks ago, Garry said that if this offense can get another guy going, they're going to be unstoppable. Rashee Rice, 8 catches for 46 yards. Travis Kelce, 11 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown on Kyle Hamilton, all week we were told on all the talking heads, Get Up, ESPN, First Take, Kyle Hamilton had shut down all the tight ends he's played against. Every big-name tight end, he's held them to under 55 yards. Well, let me tell you something. Travis Kelce, the dude who just passed Jerry Rice's all-time catches record, yeah, he's not one of them. Travis Kelce turned back the time clock and turned out to show out. There were a lot of plays that Travis Kelce made. There was a 3rd down and 6. Travis Kelce makes a huge catch. The sideline pass to his knees. Kyle Hamilton all over him.
A little flicker he threw out, I think, end of the second quarter. Mahomes did. That was tough.
Caught it out of the backfield. He pumped it. He was going to throw it. I said, oh, shit. The Chiefs are not playing. This defense is coming out to play. McDuffie, Janarius Sneed are really showing that they're coming to play. Chris Jones has this defensive line playing out of this world. This defense turned Lamar Jackson to one-dimensional. All we heard in there when the Chiefs were coming in before the game saying, if you make Lamar throw, we're going to have a good chance. And that's what they did. They didn't let the running backs run. They didn't let the quarterback throw. And all I remember was Lamar Jackson threw a pass. It gets deflected. I'm looking all over the screen, and I see Lamar take off. And I said, Alyssa, there's no way in
That was
hell.
kind
I
of
thought he was going to score a touchdown. I was like, I have an anytime bet. Is this going to count? Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen if he would have scored that. But Lamar Jackson left it all on the line. But this Chiefs defense was just too much. Throughout the whole Mahomes era, it's been the dominant offense. It's been when a play need to be made, Patrick Mahomes is going to step up and make that play. But this defense, like Toddy said, 10 points. So a team that just put up 34 points the last week. This offense did not score a single point in the second half. This defense held it down for him, and this defense looks really scary. So I'm going to swing it to you next, Gary. What you got?
No, I was going to perfect little pick. I got a stat for you right here, Kev. Right here.
Yeah.
Since week 14 versus the Bills in the second half, Chiefs haven't allowed more than 7 points. Literally 6-7-3, 6-0-7-3. That's what people have been scoring in the second half versus defense. So, like, I don't really want to get – I know you said Lamar Jackson got nervous. I don't know if I agree with that, Kev, because I do feel like a lot of people put a lot of pressure for this team to win at home as they should have. Like, these 4 losses they had, we look back in the season, they weren't – none of the game, they have not got dominated all year. They got bullied a little bit this game, but they didn't get dominated and slapped in the face like let's remember a Cowboys or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Who, basically get shellacked, not looking themselves as much in the playoffs. So I do feel like it's a learning lesson for this team right here. I feel like they're going to come back next year and be better and be on a mission because, these 2 takeaways, they didn't, these 2 turnovers they had basically, would cost them a game, and them just knowing next year, like, all right, this defense, is something to handle. We all know if Patrick Mahomes is going to come and do his thing no matter where he's at. So we got to, stay our identity. Like you guys mentioned already, the rush yards you already mentioned, when they got put back, they're like, we're not going to, it's kind of right there, kind of test you right there. Like, are you going to stick to your identity or are you not? And they didn't, they got to their identity. And it was kind of a little bit weird to see because, like I keep mentioning, I love Lamar Jackson. He's one great, like that play you mentioned, Kev, it was like top 10 highlights, all that type of stuff. And like a couple of times I thought he was going to be out the window and gone. I know he was waiting to see if someone opens up because that's how they've been doing all year this year. Waited and waited. And, he scrambles a little bit. He gets that big play action hit. But sometimes, we're used to him just getting those, especially at 31. I was shocked he didn't get that from his legs. Shocked. So, there's a couple learning lessons they're going to have. But like we mentioned, like Patrick Mahomes in their defense, that's why I've been saying all season long that they give him a recipe that he never had before. That's why I think they're going to go back-to-back and win this championship. And I think Vaughn mentioned them in 6-0 since the Bengals playoff win. And literally, he's 11-0 in TD to interception. He hasn't threw a TD since that game in the playoff. So that's literally been 6-7 games. And we already mentioned the first thing, he's literally winning percentage in playoffs. This is literally one of the best playoff performers ever. Literally first in winning percentage, TD interception, 39-7 TD to interception in the playoffs. It's crazy stuff, bro. This play man's putting up. And I know, it sounds like a Chiefs fan here, but you just got to love greatness, man. When you see it shining through bright, that's why I don't want to really knock too much of the Ravens today. I just feel like it's all praise ready the Chiefs handle business, even though they got shut out in the second half. I just feel like he knows you got a great defense, so he's not trying to do too much to, cost that. If he does any 1 or 2, if Mahomes throws a turnover here, then, then we can maybe see a different game because, they weren't humming and stuff at the end. The Baltimore was starting to get a little bit of their way momentum shift. So, it was a great game. And yeah, we're going to have to see you in this bowl time, baby.
And I wouldn't be the Eagles fan in me to not come out here and mention Andy Reid. Andy Reid, arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time. 44% of his coaching career has been in a championship game. His record is 5-6. Unfortunately, 4 of those L's did come from Philadelphia, from our 4 NFC Conference championship runs that we weren't able to finish out. Second most appearances by a coach. And the craziest stat that I think that came from this game is Peyton Manning's record in the playoffs is 14-13. Patrick Mahomes is 14-3. He is 1 game away from passing Peyton Manning, and he played in fewer playoff games. Peyton Manning's record was 14-13. Patrick Mahomes is 14-3. And this is Patrick Mahomes not starting for a year. So I know there's a lot of people out there that say, what if? We don't know because he didn't play. But it's looking pretty scary. So this team is led by a great coach. They have a great defensive coordinator who's been there for 5 years. And like I mentioned, every other season it's been, what can this offense do to put them over the top? But this defense is coming out and showing that they're nothing to slack about. So I'm really looking forward to this next game, and we will give our picks next week.